Hey guys, ready for a wild ride through one of Vegas's hottest foodie spots? Today, we're diving into Toca Madera, an upscale restaurant serving up modern Mexican cuisine, killer drinks, and mouth-watering appetizers that'll have your taste buds doing the salsa. Plus, they've got live entertainment in the evenings to keep the vibes high. So, grab your amigos and let's explore this hip, tasty joint together. Right next to the Aria on the Vegas Strip, you'll find the Crystals Mall. And guess what? On the balcony outside, there's this spot called Toca Madera. It's a bougie Mexican fusion joint, serving up some seriously Instagram-worthy, sustainable eats with bold flavors that'll have you saying, Dios mío, hit me up if you've been here before. Alright, let's dive in and check this place out. So as soon as you walk in, you're hit with this epic tropical forest vibe. Trees everywhere, a slick firewall, and even a little pond with stepping stones to hop across. It's like stepping into a jungle, but, fancy. Let's take a stroll and soak in the forest magic before we eat. When you walk in, you're greeted by this sick foyer with a wall of gorgeous blue Mexican vases. Seriously, it's like totally Insta-worthy. Then you head into the main front room, and guess what? There's a bar ready to make your day even better. Toca Madera's got a bunch of rooms to check out. Up front, you've got the bar for all your drinking needs. The main dining area in the back is where you can catch the chefs doing their thing. Basically a live cooking show. They've got a wine cellar for when you want to get your tipsy on during dinner. And some private rooms for when you and your crew need a little more privacy for your fiestas. I made a reservation for lunch and was seated in the main dining room in the back, which you can access through this scary tunnel with trees. Once in the main dining room, they seated me on the side below this magic tree, and then gave me some free chips and salsa. The free salsa was straight up chopped tomatoes, onions, and peppers, maybe a splash of oil, but no tomato sauce in sight. Plus, they hooked us up with some homemade chippies. Let's dive in and see what's good. Pile it on, don't be shy. This salsa is chunky. These chips are hitting just right. Crispy, perfectly salted, no stale vibes here. The salsa's super fresh, but it's kinda light on flavor. Wish it had a little more oomph. I'm giving it a solid 3.5 out of 5. Now, let's look at the menu. It's important to know that Toca Madera doesn't do lunch or brunch every day, only on select days. I was there on a Saturday, and they had brunch from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. After that, they close up and reopen for dinner at 5 p.m. The brunch menu's got all the good stuff like fancy French toast, chicken and waffles, pancakes, and tantalizing toast. If you're more into savory, they've got Mexican enchiladas, burritos, and breakfast omelets. Sides include the usual suspects: bacon, corn, salsa, rice, sausage, beans, and rice. I went with the almond butter fancy toast. Let's check it out. So the almond toast consisted of multi-grain bread, almond butter, banana, candied walnuts, blueberries, fresh honeycombs, and flowers. And this was $16. Let's taste this. Let me cut this thing. Get that honey on there. This dish was like a fiesta in my mouth. Super light and made with fresh ingredients. You've got a hint of vanilla with honey drizzled on the granola, berries, and bananas. It's tasty, it's pretty, and it won't leave you in a food coma. I'm giving it a solid 5 out of 5 estrellas. What do you think? Drop a comment below, amigos. Now, let's see what other goodies they've got cooking. Looking at their regular food starter menu, we have crispy tacos, which I got, tostados, guacamole, and more. They have a raw bar with oysters, sashimi, caviar, and other fancy dishes. For the meats, we have Wagyu steak, tomahawk steaks. There was flat iron and New York strip steak. And they had Kobe and Ishiyaki steaks, whatever that means. In the land and sea area, we have burgers and enchiladas with beef. They had scallops, prawns, salmon, and a beautiful branzini fish, which I also ordered, so stay tuned for that. They also had seasonal vegetables, street corn, and beans for sides. Now let's look at my tacos. So I started with the A5 Wagyu crispy tacos for $34. These had corn taco shells with kizami wasabi, green onion, and micro shiso. Let's stick these in my mouth. Look how tiny these tacos are. They must be for babies. Don't let the size fool you. That crispy fried shell with spicy, flavorful Wagyu beef chunks is the real deal. There's a hint of citrusy onions that adds a nice zing. These little guys are fresh and tasty, so I'm giving them a solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now let's get our drink on. So, I figured I'd give one of their magical drinks a whirl. Sure, they had margaritas, coffee, and tea, but I was in the mood for something a little más loco. Then I spotted the watermelon margarita on the menu. And get this, I was told it arrives on fire. Let's see what kind of fuego they bring out. This bad boy's got Don Julio Blanco, watermelon, Carl Grey, creme syrup, Thai basil, and lime, all for the high price of 18 bucks. Ay caramba, look at that sparkle. Oh my gosh, this drink is lit. Literally, my waiter's over here throwing cinnamon on it, turning it into a fiery show. Whew, I can't get enough of this espectaculo. Alright, set it down, amigo. Let's take a closer look at this masterpiece. Let me blow this out before I turn into a human torch. Whew, crisis averted. Now, on to the taste test. Refreshing watermelon juice mixed with that sweet tequila kick. It's got a watermelon aftertaste with a hint of spice and a sprinkle of cinnamon. This drink was as fun as it was fancy. Definitely a 5 out of 5 stars. Would you order something like this? Now, let's dive into my fancy fish. For my main course, I went all in on the branzino fish. 58 bucks, baby. This bad boy came with chipotle mezcal butter, cilantro, crushed pepitas, and a charred lemon for that extra zing. Let's get up close and personal with this fancy pescado. Oh, look at that! Nice and tender, flaky perfection. Not gonna lie, I'm not usually a big cooked fish fan, but this one had me curious. This fish was light and refreshing. Not too fishy at all. I tried it both ways, with and without the lemon. Gotta say, the lemon changed the flavor and really took it up a notch. There was even a little kick of spice. If you're into fish, you're gonna love this one. Easy 5 out of 5 stars. So, which item did you like? Drop a comment. Now, let's see what else they have to offer. In the evenings, Toca Madera turns up the heat with everything from musicians to dancers, and yes, even fire-breathing women. I had my eyes on their special dessert, a chocolate skull with flowers, muy fancy, but just as I was ready to dig in, they started closing up shop for lunch, gearing up for dinner. So no chocolatey skull for me, but here are some pics to drool over. I've had some seriously tasty bites in Las Vegas, so make sure to check out my Vegas food playlist for más diversion. Until next time, amigos, keep on snacking.
Y ahora en mi corazón tú estás, y ya no quiero a nadie más.